Every ancient civilization told stories of their gods. Modern fairy tales paint them as protectors, guardians of justice, and beacons of light. But the original texts hide a much darker reality. To the ancients, the gods were not loving. They were volatile, deeply paranoid tyrants who viewed humanity as nothing more than clay to be molded, or crushed. One single act of defiance didn't just bring death, it unleashed punishments so cruel, so eternal, that language itself struggles to describe them. From the freezing abysses of the north to the scorching sands of the Nile, we are pulling back the curtain on history. Welcome back to Mythic Wrath. Today, we unmask the darkest divine punishments ever recorded. We begin on Mount Olympus. Pop culture paints Zeus as a noble king wielding simple lightning bolts. But ancient Greek lore reveals a ruthless tyrant who ruled through absolute, unyielding paranoia. Look closely at the titan Prometheus. For the simple crime of stealing fire and giving it to humanity, giving us warmth, technology, and a real chance to survive, Zeus did not just execute him. He engineered an eternity of systematic agony. Chained tightly to a jagged, freezing rock at the absolute edge of the world, Prometheus was left entirely helpless. Every single day, a massive, monstrous eagle descended from the sky to tear open his flesh and feast on his living, bloody liver. Because he was an immortal, his body regenerated completely every single night, healing the horrific wounds just so the brutal torture could begin all over again at dawn. For all eternity. Zeus openly boasted that if he dropped a single golden chain from the heavens, he could drag the entire earth and all the oceans up to his throne. The punishments of Olympus were never about justice, they were a visual warning to the cosmos, absolute submission, or absolute destruction. But if you think the Greek gods were cruel, turn your eyes to the freezing, brutal north. Pop culture has turned Odin into a wise, peaceful grandfather figure. But ancient Norse history tells a much darker, bloodier story. Odin was a cold, calculating god of war, driven completely mad by the terrifying paranoia of Ragnarok. And when the trickster god Loki finally went too far, the punishment handed down by the Aesir gods was pure psychological horror. The gods captured Loki and dragged him into a pitch-black, subterranean stone cavern. They took his own biological sons, turned one into a feral wolf, and forced him to tear his own brother apart. Then, using the cold, stiff entrails of his own slaughtered child, they bound Loki tightly to 3 massive, jagged stones. The entrails immediately turned to iron, locking him in place. To ensure continuous, unceasing agony, the goddess Skadi placed a massive, venomous serpent directly above his face. Day and night, the snake drips burning, acidic poison directly into Loki's open eyes. His faithful wife holds a bowl to catch the toxic venom, but whenever she must step away to empty it, the raw acid hits his bare flesh. The ancient texts say his agonizing screams are so violent they shake the literal foundations of the earth, causing what mortals call earthquakes. This is the Norse price of defiance. Finally, we travel across the scorching, wind-swept sands of the Nile, where the ultimate, definitive punishment awaited a mortal after death. In ancient Egypt, passing into the underworld was not a peaceful, quiet journey. It was a high-stakes, terrifying trial of absolute psychological dread. In the grand, shadow-filled hall of Ma'at, every mortal soul faced the ultimate judgment. Your literal, physical heart was placed on a massive golden scale, weighed directly against the pristine feather of truth. If your life was filled with sin, greed, or deceit, your heart would grow incredibly heavy. The golden scales would tip downward. Waiting anxiously in the deep shadows was Ammit, the devourer of souls. A horrific genetic nightmare with the powerful jaws of a crocodile, the muscular torso of a spotted leopard, and the heavy hindquarters of a massive hippopotamus. When the scales tipped, Ammit pounced. She did not just end your conscious life. She devoured your very soul. In the Egyptian cosmos, this meant the ultimate doom, absolute non-existence. No afterlife, no memory, and no peace. Just eternal, conscious, nothingness. The ancients did not worship their gods out of genuine love. They built massive temples and offered bloody sacrifices out of pure, unadulterated fear. They knew that behind the pristine golden armor and grand cosmic thrones lay volatile entities of pure wrath, waiting for a single reason to destroy. Which mythological pantheon do you think held the most ruthless form of justice? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to continue unmasking the dark, forbidden history the traditional textbooks hide, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and join our ranks. This is Mythic Wrath. Until next time.